So, probably the most important question for anyone who is gradually transitioning into the role of a mentor or has taken the first steps and started attracting people is, what should I do with the person who has joined? How do I integrate them into the business? I believe that this topic is crucial and should be addressed almost from the very beginning, because you might have a new partner literally within a week, and your business will essentially depend on how effectively you work with them. What problems exist at this stage? First, many people have the illusion that when they have a new person, they give them a book to read, and that's it. They are independent, and everything should happen for them now. In fact, this is a really big mistake. Why? You spent a lot of time finding this person, and by not guiding them, not working with them, not going through a certain path with them, you will repeatedly face the same situation. People will end up getting lost. Moreover, you can call him in a week or two. Initially, he told you that yes, he is with you forever, and this is the coolest business in the world. But time passes and he just disappears somewhere, and you will keep wondering why this happens. First of all, we need to sort out a few things. First, there are three groups of people. There are people who will never automatically become partners in your team. That is, they are simply not ready for it. They have trouble with motivation, they don't understand their goals, and overall, this business is not for them. No matter how hard you try to be effective with them, you are powerless to do anything here. There is a second group of people. These are individuals who are naturally strong personalities. That is, they make decisions, and essentially, the type of mentor they have will not change much. He just got something into his head and he will act, he will do something, and he will become a top performer, let's assume. We very often observe such stories, but this is more of an exception to the rules and a very rare case. And there is a third group of people. This is the main part of all distributors and all partners who come to us. These are people who are currently neutral. They have not had experience, possibly in network business before this. They came here and they can become powerful and strong, but only if they enter the system and if you as a mentor can work with them competently. Of course, we can focus only on the stars, but we must understand that the statistics need to be simply colossal. This means hundreds and thousands of contacts. Yes, then you will find a key person, but you must clearly understand why you are doing it and what you are doing. That is why my first and most important advice is to focus on two groups of people. And of course, look for key people and stars and refine and help those who come to you become strong. Let's talk step by step about what should happen during the first conversations, where you should guide the person and what initial steps to take together. First, when a person comes, it is very important for me to understand their goals. That's the first thing. Second, to form the right attitude towards this business. Why is this so important? Because if a person has a distorted understanding, they do not grasp the essence of this business. They think that it is all about selling. He has it in his mind that he has 10 acquaintances. He will now go to them and offer them something. If he sets the wrong expectation about these people, the following will happen. He relies on them, but they refuse him. He completely loses, let's say, his self-esteem and any minimal inspiration. He understands that it is extremely difficult. All his hopes and all his aspirations regarding this business, it's just not for me. What is the problem? The problem is not that he is being rejected, because statistics will inevitably work. The problem lies in understanding this business, or rather the lack of it. Therefore, these fundamental things are very important to me at the very beginning. From the perspective of goals, it is very important for me to understand a person's motivation. Why? If he doesn't have his own reason, not something I impose on him, not something that is good for society, but something that personally motivates him to do something. Take some actions, invest time, money, and so on. Moreover, when he starts receiving his no's and rejections, it is very important that this does not break him. All of this relates to goals and understanding. What do I do in these cases? I always discuss very deeply with the person certain points. First, I show him his present now, and we talk a lot about the future. What does it mean? The first thing I suggest to a person is to look at their life as if from a balcony and conduct a full inventory of their core values. How is your health right now? How are your finances right now? Where do you live? What is the quality of your life? What do you drive? What is the quality of life of your parents? So, I kind of guide him to look at what he currently has. And I ask a very deep question and try to empathize with it. Tell me, are you satisfied with what you have now? Do you understand that after some time, realistically a year, 2, 3, if you don't change anything now, everything will remain at the same stage? I paint this picture vividly. I tell it through my story, through my example, how I looked at people who have been following the path of my work for 5 to 10 years, which let's say lies ahead of me. I look at them and try this life on for myself. This is me in 10 years. Are you okay with this? Have you looked at what awaits you? I try to vividly paint a negative picture because I believe that this is one of the strongest motivations, negative motivation. And then I start asking him, what is really important to you? What would you like to achieve in a year or two? What values are important to you? I ask the question, what income do you need to leave your job and focus solely on this? Why is this important at the very beginning? Because when I understand a person, I understand their value system, I can always remind them of it, even when they are going through not the best periods in their business, in their life, I can always bring them back to the starting point. This is a conversation for me about goals and the reasons behind them. The second topic is the attitude towards the business and understanding what its development will depend on. The first point, it is very important for me that a person immerses themselves in this business as much as possible right after our first meeting. That is, he has maximally recorded the necessary programs and information into his brain. The first thing I give him is a book to read, Become a Professional. Next, I give him a series of videos that will immerse him as much as possible in this business. That is, you can choose videos that inspire you and those that you think are really important for him. The more a person embraces our entire idea, the more likely it is that they will stay in our business for as long as possible. The initial period is especially important. In principle, why is all this necessary? As soon as a person develops the right understanding, particularly of the statistics of our business, they will realize that its growth will depend on two factors. First, it depends on how quickly he can find those people who will need the product. I immediately set a specific program. These are 10-15 families that you will find and guide through our concept, meaning they will become conscious consumers. And the second group of people, you need 5 to 7 individuals who will join you in the business. I immediately direct the person to the statistics. On average, you will need to conduct 300 meetings for the first line over the next year. Why is this important? And here I deeply explain the understanding of the statistics. It is important to me that when he goes to communicate with his partners, with his friends, the first no does not break him so that he is not turned away from this business. And it is very important to discuss this practically in the first meetings. Let's move on. What happens at the next stage? For me, the best tool to involve a person in the business is to bring them to events. What mistake do many novice mentors make with their partners? A person has come to them, and they immediately put him, as they say, into development, into action, all these activities, without ensuring that he has the correct understanding and discussing the main points with him. And in reality, they suffer the greatest losses here. It is very important to me that a person understands one truth. Their truly big business will only start after the event. And in fact, all its development will be divided into 2 stages, the stage before and the stage after. Before the event, you are preparing, you may face obstacles, things might not work out, consider it as preparation. After the event, we talk about big business. Why is this important? It is important to me that my partner does not get disappointed prematurely because I alone cannot instill in them the confidence, understanding, and comprehension of the business that an event can provide. So, in fact, when a newcomer comes to you, all you need to do is get them to the event. And this period is probably one of the most crucial. For me, what is really important is to be in touch with him every day. That is, in fact, when he goes to take his first actions, I need to be there with him. I need to become part of his environment because he is always influenced by the forces of gravity. The forces of gravity to his surroundings, who are used to him as he is. They are used to drinking beer with him in the evenings, discussing Game of Thrones, movies. They are used to him as he is. And now he is starting to change. He talks about some goals, about development, and so on. And in most cases, it is the environment that has the greatest influence on whether a person eventually leaves this business. So, what do I need to do? I am doing my best to become the core of his environment and accordingly immerse him in our atmosphere. Events, various webinars, Skype calls. The more he stays in the flow, the higher the likelihood that he will attend the events. And when a person attends an event, it actually serves as a kind of catalyst. For me, an event is an indicator of whether a person will get engaged or not. If the event did not affect the person, it did not engage them. I believe that this person is not ready yet. I am leaving him. I am not spending much time. I will take recommendations from him. I will talk about the next event. But for now, this person is not a partner for me. If he is not going to the event, well, even more so, it will be a waste of time. That's why let's summarize. First, we understand the person's goals. Second, We establish the right business program so that the person understands this is not a hobby, there is no place for luck here, and there is no moment where they will just get lucky. This is a real business where you need to master the profession. And third, I am working to ensure that he attends the event. And so, we come to the second stage, the decision-making stage, and the person says, I want to build this business, okay? Where do I start? And this is our second topic.